Hi, if this is your first stop on my channel, you're welcome. My name is Daiki Antonio. It's good to have you in another video. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about everybody's favorite thing to have, which is money. Everybody wants money. Everybody needs money. Yeah, and I'm just going to talk about this from the perspective of a 20-something-year-old girl who has been privileged, or at least been given the opportunity to experience what it means to work, make, and earn money. Yeah, so that's what today's video is going to address. Let's get right into the conversation. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yay! A couple of weeks back, and somebody was asking how are people able to save money and actually make more money in this day, looking at the cost of living, looking at the way things are so expensive. And I see a lot of tweets, I see a lot of threads, I see a lot of posts talking about how the our parents' generation literally doesn't have to go through what we have to go through. And so I have a few pointers here that's going to help me talk about this subject. Let me put this disclaimer out there that this isn't financial advice. This is more like tips I have learned that have helped me. So if you're looking for financial advice, please see a financial person to get that, because I'm not one of them. Even though I might have experience in the finance space, I'm not a financial expert at saving and investing money and time. So please don't take this as financial advice and come and quote me anywhere, because I am not liable for any happenings that would occur if you find yourself in any kind of situation. Thank you. So the first thing, this is if I'm to advise my 20-year-old self when it comes to money. The first thing I would say is record every income, record every expense. And this is so crucial because a lot of people are always like, I made this amount of money. How come the money has finished? Because they don't even know how the money got finished. Some people assume somebody stole their money, but after sitting down to do the expenses, they see that they've actually spent this lump sum over a period of time. So there's an app I use to track my income and my expenses. I've used this app for the last 1 year, and I'm not going to say I'm going to recommend it, but it's an app I would gladly tell anybody to get, because I am shocked at how much I make a year, and I'm also shocked at how much I keep spending every year. And so that's one of like the big things for me. My major spending is mainly food and transportation. I don't really spend a lot of clothes, I don't really spend a lot of makeup, I don't spend and airtime, data. These three are like my top most spent of my life. So just have something. It could be an Excel sheet, it could be a book, it could even be an app that you could record every amount you earn. Even if your auntie gives you 10 cedis, please record it. Don't treat it as, oh, it's miscellaneous, I'm not gonna put it there. Please put it there. You will need to come back to it. Even if you say, oh, please give me 50 Ghana, when I withdraw I'll give it to you, record that one. Okay, the second is invest. And I know people are going to say, oh, by Daiki, by the time the money comes, it has finished. So this is the principle I use that I think works for me. I have put an automatic debit order on my account. Any money that passes through by a certain day in the month, those are like the first things they deduct out. And as painful as it is, I've always seen it save me on my rainy days. So I have a standing order on my account, right? Once I get any money that I push through the account, whether it's salary, whether it's any other sources of income I make, once it hits my bank account, best believe they're taking that one first. And once that is taken, it's easier for me to spend the rest, because I know that this investing part has been catered to. The spending part is what I now have to budget. So a lot of people rather do it this way. They want to do the investment last after they have taken care of all the bills. But let me be honest, the bills never stop coming and they will never stop running out. So instead of waiting for the bills to come, rather take the savings and investment out first. Then whatever is left, you make that what your bills become. And so if you think when you take out the savings and the investment amount, you'll be left with peasant, it's one of two things. Either you are cutting down on your expenses or you're looking for other sources of income. So either you're increasing how much you are earning or you're reducing how much you're spending to be able to cater to that. So that is my second tip. Always put your investment and savings first. Don't make it the last thing, because let's be honest, you will think you have extra money. You will sleep and wake up, something has come up, you have another expense to pay for. Adulting is always full of expenses. You will be paying bills without seeing, and if you're not careful, you would have worked 40, 50, in fact 10 years of your life and you don't have anything tangible to account for. So please take this as a simple financial advice. Don't come and ask me for any means to invest, because I'm not an investment expert. However, there's an Instagram page I do follow. They are called Investment Friend. Please follow them, Seram and Mimi. Yeah, they give sound financial advice. You could follow them, you could take any of their courses, just so that you can upgrade your financial knowledge. My next tip is, now that you have put the investment there, don't just leave it. I see people do this a lot. Their first instinct is, oh, I have an investment account, I don't need to open another one. Or, oh, I have this insurance that I'm investing in, I don't need to do a new one. But when you ask them for an update or a progress of how that investment or insurance or whatever package they have is faring, they basically don't know anything about it. Why? They haven't done any follow-up. The fact that you have an investment doesn't mean that you have your money. The thing is funny for me. The fact that you are doing an investment doesn't mean you should just close your eyes on it and then don't pay attention to whatever figures are going on in the account. There's something I do. I like to check my statements every year. Every year, I take my investment account, their statement. I request for it at different points in the year. So last year I took it in June, this year I took it in September. And I sat there and I was comparing the numbers, because I wanted to be able to see if I'm really earning on my money, or the money is just being, whether the investment I have is useful or not. So you can have that. Maybe you can't do yearly, you want to do every quarter. You can do that, but my little knowledge in investing is, investments yield more when you leave it to follow or to work for you over a period of time. So that's why I do my checks every year. I request my statement every year to see how well the account is growing. If I want to do it every 3 months, I'm not likely to see anything, and so I'm tempted to go and say that this thing is not yielding interest. So I leave it for a year and I go back and I check it. So this is your sign to go and look at the account of your investment, whether it's an insurance policy. And let me just say this on the side, insurance is not investment. So if you've done any insurance package, you've done any investment package, whether it be a bank, a mutual fund, a broker, whichever place you find yourself doing that, please go and check on it. Take this as the sign. Send them an email, call their number, let them give you a statement of accounts to see how well your portfolio is faring, so that you are not left shocked at your most dire moment only to realize there's nothing in there. Budgeting is like a headache for most people, yeah? And so if you want to budget, I learned this from the Smart Money Woman book. The principle says 10% for tithe offerings, that's if you're a believer. 20 goes into your savings and your investments, that's for of any amount you earn. 30, not 20 rather, Yes, another 20 rather goes into your need, your wants. So things you want to splurge on, things you want to gift yourself, 20% of whatever you earn goes there. Then the remaining 50% goes into your needs. So things like bills, things like rent, things like food, things like transportation goes to 50%. So I mentioned earlier, if you do this and you realize the amount you have cannot meet up to the budget you need to have a monthly expense, it's one of two things. Either you are cutting down your expenses or you are increasing your sources of income. And I will come back in another video, maybe sit down with an expert on this to talk basically about how you can earn other sources of income, right? So this is point number 3. That tip that has been very helpful for me is to bulk buy. So things like food, things like even data. You see that 5 cedis, 10 cedi, I stopped for more than a year. I don't buy data in bits. I buy in bulk, so like 400 cedis, 500 cedis, and it can take me for like 3 months, 4 months, sometimes even 5 months if I'm not using my data and I'm using Wi-Fi. And it saved me a lot, because you would think that the 10 cedis, 5 cedis, 2 cedis, 10 cedis, 5 cedis, if you put that money together at the end of the month or even at the end of a quarter, you see how much you have spent on data by just doing it in bits. How about buying it in bulk and doing that? Someone would say they don't have all the money up front, which is why I would say if you don't have all the money up front, then start gathering it in small bits. Save it somewhere. Then you buy. Once you do that, it becomes easier. See, I started that. I don't remember the last time I've had an issue with, oh, I don't have data, send me Momo 10 cedis, let me buy some. Unless like there's no money in my account before I'll get to that point. But I never get to that point, because when the data is left with like 50 or 30 gig, I buy a new bundle on top of that. And so I just keep rolling it over, because it doesn't expire. That's the beautiful thing. That's if you are in my part of the world or my country, Ghana. That's the beautiful thing about how I do it, because I don't wait for it to finish before I buy a new one. So the one I have currently, I think I'm left with like 120 something gig. I got it for like 200 gig or so, over 200 gig, yeah. So I have about 120 something left. When it gets to, and I'm probably sure I'll use this into 2026. I'm recording this in December. I'll use this into 2026, probably January or February, before I buy another one again. So it's very, very cost effective when you buy in bulk, not just data, even food. When you buy food in bulk, you save yourself a lot of stress. When you buy provisions in bulk, you save yourself a lot of stress. Even bags of water or packs of water, that one you went, but just buy like 2 or 3 or 4 at a go. Somebody will say that, but I don't have all the money to buy it. I get it, you don't have all the money, but there are times you get huge sums. So if you get somebody giving like 500 cedis, instead of saying, oh, today I'm going to buy just one bag, maybe you can decide that if a pack of water is, let's say, 10 cedis or 12 cedis, you're going to buy like 3 or 4 to put down. Maybe for a whole month, you calculate how much water you drink and then you sort that out. Like it's so stress-free. I don't have to think about some of these things consistently. Data, knowing I'm always online is something I don't waste my time on. So always bulk buy. It's like one of the best things you can ever do for yourself, if you actually have the means to. If you don't, then please do it according to your budget. And if it's not even every week or every other week, you can do it at least every 2 weeks. Than every day you're buying the same thing. Every day you buy bread. Why don't you buy a full loaf, then every day you take some and eat? You are rather saving yourself that cost than every day bread 5 cedis, bread 5 cedis. Do you know at the end of the day you'd have spent more buying bread every day if you had bought one full loaf on a Monday and then just eat it again over the week? Don't do that. Fine girl. My last but one tip for you would be, please read, study, learn, know how money works, learn about money, know how to save, read. Just go online, search, take your curiosity out of your head and actually find books and read. There are so many books on money I can recommend. There are so many YouTube channels that talk about money. There are so many pages online that have been dedicated solely to teaching you how to make money, how to let your money work for you whilst you sleep, and how to keep earning more on the money you are letting, like you're investing. Do you get it? So read. There's this knowledge gap that we have. People don't want to read. I don't understand. Read, and don't stop reading, because the thing with money is you would think you know, but there's no end to how much you can learn about money. So always be curious. Every year, make it a point that as part of your goals for the coming year or this year, you would learn something new about how to save and invest money, and how to make more money from what you're already earning, without having to always think about an extra job or an extra side hustle. The side hustles will become too many. Then you realize that you are still not even making good use of the side hustles. So learn these things. Just take a lot of an interest in developing yourself in money. Yeah, I have 2 further points, but I would come back in another video and address those ones, because I want to take us through the biblical part of money. I see this belief a lot of Christians have. Oh, God doesn't want us to be rich, or if you have money, you are evil. But the scripture never says money is evil. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. So it means that you can have money and not love it. And you can have money and love it to the fact that you want to do evil to others. So I want to come back and address all the biblical aspects of money. But this is like practical tips I have used. The last thing I would say before I disappear here is, please just discipline yourself. Anytime you're about to spend that money and you know it's supposed to go into an investment or a savings, tell yourself that the rich auntie you admire to be is based on the goals you put yourself through now. It's painful, let me not lie, it's very painful to see money lying in your account and you want to spend it, but you know that if you don't put that money aside for the future or rainy day, you won't have anything. It's very hard. But please and please and please again, I will say please like 1,000 times, I don't mind. Don't spend everything you make. Save something, even if it's 10 Ghana every month or 10 Ghana every week. At the end of the year, you see that the amount you have put aside is very insignificant, but put it down for like 3, 4, 5 years time. It's a lot of money for you. Yeah, so please be disciplined. Please and please, if you know you will not be able to do that, I think there are a lot of places that have these accountability groups, but that doesn't mean you should go and do money doubling schemes where they'll tell you, oh, bring 500 cedis, tomorrow you get 2,000. That is literally a scam. There's no way you make 2,000 in 1 week. Nobody should deceive you in that kind of thought or thinking. So please seek financial help. Go to the advisors, go to the banks, go to the institutions, speak to your relationship managers if you have a bank account. Like, just have these kind of conversations with people you know who are finance experts. It saves you a lot. These are the last few things I'm going to say here. Rounding up, if you think there's something I haven't spoken about, or if there's a question you have that I still haven't clarified, I want to come back with a part 2 and take us through the biblical part, because that's one, if I want to start now, I'm not gonna finish, and I need time to sit down and have this conversation with you guys. So if there's a question you think I need to answer when it comes to money, the Christian faith, and what the Bible says, or what people have as their belief system, please feel free to drop them in the comments or look through any of my socials, which is linked in my description. You can send me a DM there or send me an email with any of the questions you have. But I think leaving it in the comments is easier. I can easily pick the question and sit down and answer it. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful and you think you have friends who would also need these tips, please go and share it with them. Don't wait till the end. Go and do it. Like, drop everything. Share the video right now. Please also add the subscriber count. Not just subscribe, please watch the videos. Go back and binge watch anything I've shared that you've not watched. I have so many videos for you. I have more coming up, but please go back and go and watch the ones you've not watched. And then let's meet again another time for a part 2, talking about the biblical aspect of money, and if there were any Bible characters who were rich, because we need to debunk the myth or the idea that Christians can't be rich. And so, without further ado, I call it good night and bye-bye. See you in my next video.